Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Destiny board Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. This is an update that I've been wanting to do for a while. Just always like to keep the deck of Bakura up to date, since he is my favorite character from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. I really don't like to let a year go by and not update this deck, so always once a year you'll see an update to the Destiny board deck with just its overall playstyle, being able to set up your spirit messages with your Destiny board in play to give you the game-winning play of spelling out Final, or final, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the actual Destiny board itself. For the Destiny board, we run 3 copies of this trap. When this card and all 4 Spirit Message cards with different names are placed on your field, you win the duel. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, place 1 Spirit Message card from your hand or deck in your spell and trap card zone, face up in the proper order of Final. When any Spirit Message card or Destiny board card you control leaves the field, send all Spirit Message cards and Destiny board you control to the graveyard. So this is the main play that you go for in the deck, setting up your Destiny board on the field to give you the game-winning play. We run 3 Destiny board just because we need to at least see this card opened up to be able to start off the actual Destiny board with the different Spirit Messages, which for the Spirit Messages we run 1 copy of each, so 1 Spirit Message I, 1 Spirit Message N, 1 Spirit Message A, and the 1 Spirit Message L. Having each one of these copies just means less of a chance for us to open up any of these cards in our hand, because we want to be able to activate them from our deck to take up less cards in our hand to spell out the final full message on the field. Now, going to the main deck monsters that we run in the deck, 2 copies of Curse Necrofear. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned by card effect. You can target 3 of your banished fiend monsters, special summon this card from your hand. If you do, shuffle those banished monsters into the deck. And during the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was destroyed by your monster zone by an opponent's card and sent there, special summon this card from the graveyard. Then you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of face-up spell traps you control with different names. You can only use each effect of Curse Necrofear per turn, but the more of the Destiny board messages that you have set up, the more cards you can destroy of your opponents as well. So it's more destruction play while continuing the actual play style of the deck that it's meant to do. And additional cards that we may use to banish some of our fiend monsters can also help with getting this card ready on the field. We're also running the 3 copies of Dark Spirit of Banishment. If your opponent's monster attacks at the start of damage step, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 level 8 fiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. If you do, change the attack target to it to perform damage calculation. If a level 8 fiend monster is sent to your graveyard while this card's in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Dark Spirit of Banishment once per turn. We run the 3, so we have added options to open up. What this is basically a hand trap to our hand to set up Curse Necrofear on the field for our opponent then to swing in to this card by an opponent's card, and then you can activate the additional special summon effect of Curse Necrofear since it was destroyed by an opponent's card thanks to you redirecting it with your Dark Spirit of Banishment. And also 3 copies of Dark Spirit of Malice. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, target 1 level 8 fiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. And if a level 8 fiend monster is sent to the graveyard while this card's in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. More add back power, just like Dark Spirit of Banishment, but still, once again, having more of these dark fiend monsters as the engine to run in the deck. So we can also use it with cards like Allure of Darkness for more draw power to draw into more of our engine cards while setting up banished fiend monsters to use with Curse Necrofear also. And then also the 2 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld and the 1 copy of Sengen. This could be a 3rd Tour Guide if you want, just so you have targets to summon out with getting your Dark Spirit of Malice and also your Dark Spirit of Punishment in the graveyard for you being able to summon out Tour Guide and then go for an extra deck play, whether it be a rank 3 overlay or a link summon using those monsters also. And 2 copies of Battle Fader. I like this card because it can also be a banished fiend monster to recycle back into the deck with Curse Necrofear and a way to protect yourself from an opponent's direct attack. And lastly, for the main deck monsters, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Just the only hand trap I run on the deck, more of a means to stop any of our opponent's cards that they may try to search or set up that could potentially destroy any of the Destiny board cards we run on the field. And also for the main deck, we'll be moving on to the other spells we run. 3 copies of Dark Sanctuary. If Spirit Message card will be placed on your field with Destiny board, you can special summon it as a normal monster, Fiend Dark, level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense instead. If you do, it's unaffected by card effects except for Destiny board and cannot be targeted for attack, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, toss a coin, and if the result's heads, negate the attack. If you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the current attack of the opponent's monster. So another way to protect yourself is just having Dark Sanctuary on the field. It means you can also use other cards in your back row as added protection for your self and your Destiny board cards, but also giving you those spirit message cards on the field as monsters for your opponent to then be able to attack you directly, for you to use cards like Battle Fader for added protection also. We're also running 2 copies of Dark Spirit's Mastery. You discard 1 card to add 1 Destiny board or 1 level 8 Fiend monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard except the turn it was sent there to place any number of Destiny board and or spirit message cards with different names from your hand or graveyard on the bottom of the deck in any order. Then draw the same number of cards. So just a way to kind of go through and recycle the engine if need be, but also set up to search either Cursed Necrosphere or the Destiny board from your deck to your hand also. And then also the 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, just for the added draw power, with the many different type of Fiend monsters we run to set up a banish for us to have for when we want to summon out our Cursed Necrosphere. But once again, it's that draw power to potentially draw into the proper cards needed for our engine, whether it be Destiny board to start off the spirit messages, or even just drawing into cards like Dark Sanctuary for added protection for those cards. And then for the 1-ofs for our spells, the 1 copy of Call by the Grave, the 1 Terraforming, and I like to tech 1 Pot of Duality. It's just additional search and setup. You don't special summon often, but still this card can come in handy for searching out some particular cards you may want to use. And for the traps, 3 copies of Sentence of Doom. You can target any number of your Fiend monsters that are banished in your graveyard up to the number of Destiny board and or spirit message cards you control. Add them to your hand. You can send this card from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard to place 1 spirit message card from your hand, deck, or graveyard in your spell and trap card zone. It's treated as being placed by the effect of Destiny board. You can only use 1 Sentence of Doom effect per turn, and only once that turn. But another 3 of, just for the fact that this helps to speed up the Destiny board play immensely, giving you that 1 additional turn in sense with this card. So another one you definitely do want to open up to be able to use. With the last of our traps being 3 copies of Fiend Griefing, just another way to set up Fiends in our graveyard, while also being able to disrupt our opponent's own graveyard by shuffling back 1 monster in our opponent's graveyard to then send 1 Fiend type monster from our deck to the graveyard. So being able to send those Fiend monsters means that we can also then use their own effects to add back to our hand when need be. And then for the extra deck, the extra deck consists of mostly generic cards to go into, but we have the 1 Barricade board blocker, the 1 Dark the Dark Charmer, 1 the Donner Dagger for hire, the 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, and the 1 Underclock Taker for some of our Link 2s, with some of our other Link monsters being 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Silhouette Rabbit, 1 Salmon Great Almirage, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, and the 1 Access Code Talker, with our Xyz monsters being monsters to be able to go into with Tour Guide as the option, so 1 Equipped Engineer for more of the defensive play you can do with this card, the 1 Wind Up Zen Mains, the 1 Ghost Gala card, and the 1 Divine Arsenal Zeus to finish off the extra deck. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, setup for our Destiny board is obviously the main play style of the deck. So if you can either search this card out with your go-to cards, like your Dark Spirit's Mastery, just for the discard of 1 card, and a lot of the times the preferred discard would be one of our Dark Spirit monsters, because then we can add them back to our hand with the destruction of a level 8 Fiend monster on the field, but this will search our Destiny board, giving us that setup. And then from there, we just need the defensive play style of some of our other cards, like our Battle Fader, or even our Dark Sanctuary on the field, to either give us the option for the coin flip when our opponent attacks, burning them down for damage, as well as the extra protection since they'll have to attack directly instead of attacking into our spirit messages. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, just like to update the Destiny board deck every so often with some of the changes that I've made, and I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.